Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the road less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. These lines by Robert Frost resonate with me on a very, very personal level. It's possible that some of you might be going through a similar situation. If you're a student, it could be doubts about which course to apply after school. If you're at a job, it could be you must be wondering what choices to explore after this. Or it could quite simply be a crisis of faith. Whatever the nature of the situation, it is the nature of life to give us this gift in the guise of a crossroads of choice. To ask ourselves these questions. What do I do next? Which road shall I take? I'm Shikhar Kamat and I'm a psychological illusionist. I'm someone who uses magic and psychology to seemingly read minds. Now before I begin, I'd like to try a quick experiment with someone random from the audience. Hi there. You sir, in the white t-shirt right there? Yeah, hi. Could you please join me on stage? Let's give him a round of applause as he walks up. Hi. Hi, your name is? Kanak. Kanak, nice to meet you, Kanak. Thank you so much for doing this. Now, Kanak, before we begin, I'd like to ask you, have we ever met before? No. And this is the first time we're honestly meeting, yes? Yeah. Yes. Now, Kanak, when I was a kid, old enough to go to school, there was this game I used to play with my friends. So one of my friends would hide a candy behind his back in one of his hands. And it was my job to guess which hand it was in. And the idea was, whoever guesses more number of times correctly, that person wins the candy. It's pretty simple. All of us have played this game at some point in our lives. Now, Kanak, you are about to play this game with me. Except this time, I'm going to be hiding the candy and you're going to have to guess which hand it is. Fair enough? I want you to take one step forward right here. Alright, Kanak. Now, before we begin, Kanak, just I'd like you to take this card and just put it in your pocket and we'll get back to it later. Just put it in your pocket, we'll get back to it later. Kanak, we are going to play this game a total of 5 times. Okay? You're going to have 5 rounds. And this, Kanak, will be your scorecard. If all of you can see this. It's numbered 1 to 5. If you get a correct guess, put a circle around the number. If you get it wrong, put a cross around it. Fair enough? Yes. Here you go. That is your scorecard. And finally, here's the pen. Now, Kanak, this card is going to be the candy. You're going to use this as the candy, this piece of folded card. Are you ready? Yeah. Alright. Now, I know you're not a mind reader, Kanak, but just give it your best shot. Okay? As far as I'm concerned, if you get more than 2 guesses correct out of 5, you're a winner. Okay. Alright? Okay. You ready? Yeah. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a demonstration in influence and manipulation. Alright. Let's go. Which hand is it in? Left. That was wrong. It was in my right hand. But that's okay. This is just a practice session. We'll start it again now. Okay? Alright. Which hand is it in? Left. That is correct. Good. Put a circle around 1. Alright. Now we have 4 rounds to go. 4 more rounds to go by now. Which hand is it in? Left. That is wrong. Put a cross on number 2. Which hand? Left. Wrong again. Put a cross on 3. That's okay. You have 2 tries left, Kanak. Yeah. Which hand? Right. You mean this? Yeah. That is correct. Good job. Put a circle on number 4. Now, Kanak, this is your last chance. If you get this one correct, you win the game. Okay? Which hand? Left. That is correct. Excellent job. Put a circle on 5. Excellent job, Kanak. How many? 3 out of 5. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now, Kanak, what if I told you that before we even started, I knew exactly how many guesses you would get correct and how many guesses you would get wrong? Would you believe me? No. That's exactly why. I used this card as the candy. Before I began, I had written something on this card. Now, Kanak, how many guesses did you get right? You got 3 right and 2 wrong. And before this, I wrote something on this card. 3 correct and 2 incorrect. Kanak, you don't look very impressed. That's alright. What if we take this one step further, Kanak? What if I told you that not only did I know how many guesses you'd get right and how many you'd get wrong, what if I told you that I knew exactly which ones you'll get right and which ones you'll get wrong? That would be good. That would be crazy. Kanak, do you remember I gave you something to put in your pocket before we began this game? Fish it out. Kanak, hang on a moment. This is a scorecard of my own that I made and signed before I began this game. Kanak, hold up your scorecard for me right here. Alright, so that's one. Hold it up right here, show it to the audience. That is your scorecard, and this, Kanak, is my scorecard. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, that is a match. Thank you so much, Kanak. That's for you, and that's for you as well. Thank you so much. I'll send you back. I'll have the pen back, Kanak. Yeah. Thank you. So how did I do that? I simply influenced his choices. Now, sometimes when we find ourselves at a crossroads, we need to make evident choices, decisions that cannot coexist. At any point in time in our lives, there are a variety of things that are constantly either covertly or directly influencing us. It could be anything. It could be your childhood experiences. It could be the internet, advertising, society, family, or it could be all of it at the same time. And while we are subject to these influences, we still come away feeling like all our choices have been made as freely as possible. And strangely, paradoxically, the opposite is true at the same time. Regardless of what choices we end up making eventually, our choices are up to us. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, I do not believe in fate or destiny. I believe that we are the architects of our own destiny. I'd like to try one more quick experiment with someone at random in the audience. Hi there. You there? The first lady in... Yes, you. Could you please join me on stage? Let's give a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, your name is? Saptaparna. That's a very interesting name. Saptaparna, now before we begin, have we ever met before? No, we've never met. Could you just come one step further? This is the first time we are meeting, yes? Could you confirm that to the audience? Yes. Saptaparna, am I saying it right? Saptaparni, this is my phone. And my phone is locked with a 4-digit password. And it's been the same set password for probably the last 3 months or so. Now, Saptaparni, the reason why I'm telling you all of this is because in a minute, you are going to make some choices. And in the process, you're going to try to guess my password. I like how composed she is. Fair enough. Let's try this, Saptaparna. Now, in the process, I'm going to ask you to think of some numbers. And when you do, just stick to them. Okay? Alright. Now, I know this sounds crazy, but just humor me. Okay? Now, here is my phone, Saptaparna. Now, I want you to key in a random 4-digit number. Don't worry, I won't look. Key in a random 4-digit number just to see if it unlocks. So we know it's not a trick. Key it in. Does it unlock? No. A lot of people use very simple common passwords like 0000, 1111. Saptaparni, I want you to take a moment and key in what you think is a simple password. Don't say it out loud, just key it in. And let's see if it unlocks. Does it unlock? No, it doesn't. Now, most people tend to use birth dates as their passwords because it's easy to remember them. So my birthday is 13th of August, in which case my password should be 1308. Go ahead, key in 1308 and see if it unlocks. Does it unlock? No, it doesn't. Saptamani, now I'm going to mentally send you my password. Okay? Actually, to be honest, in the course of my talk, I have already tried to influence you with a very specific combination of numbers. And I'm hoping that it will stick. Okay? So let's try this. Saptaparni, I want you to take a moment and think and picture a completely new 4-digit number that you think could be my password. Have you got something? Go with the first thing that comes to your mind. Got something? Yes. Now, Saptaparni, I'm going to give you a gift of choice. You can either choose to stick to the same order of the numbers that you just thought of, or you can change the order of the digits. What do you want to do? Do you want to stick to it or do you want to change? Stick to it. Fair enough. What is the first digit that you thought of, Saptaparni? Say it out loud. Yeah, in the mic.
Yeah, it's 2.
2.
Yeah.
Keaton. What is the second digit that you thought of?
5.
Keaton. What is the third digit that you thought of?
Again 2.
Again 2.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Keaton. And the last digit, Saptamani, don't say it out loud.
Okay.
I'm going to have faith in you. Just go ahead and key it in. And that is my password, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Saptamani. You've been splendid. Thank you so much. I'll send you back. Once we really realize the extent to which our choices can be influenced, we may tend to attach a sense of danger to situations where we need to make critical choices. And that is why I find the specific metaphor of being at a crossroads very, very interesting. It also comes along with its own unique mythology. So, for example, folklore has, in folklore, danger is always attached to crossroads. A sense of danger is always there. For example, in ancient Greece, the goddess Hecate was known to be the goddess of magic and crossroads. In medieval England, witches would gather at a crossroads to do their handiwork. In the US, we hear stories about blues player Robert Johnson, who was said to have made a deal with the devil at a crossroads in order to become the greatest musician of his time. Finally, in India, maybe to this day still, at crossroads we might find the odd Nimu Mirchi or lemon and chilies tied together to sort of ward off evil spirits. Now, as times progressed and as we got enlightened, we forgot these stories. The idea of danger at a crossroads remained. So, that is what I'm really, really interested in. The idea of danger at a crossroads. Now, knowing all of this, these are the questions that I feel we should be asking ourselves. What are the things or people that have influenced your decisions in your life the most until this point? Are these people or things, are they positive influences? And at these crossroads, what are you going to do? Are you going to move forward positively with these influences, or are you going to leave them behind? The questions and the answers to these questions are yours to make. Now, I'm 25 years old, and here I am speaking in front of you. But not too long ago, I found myself at a crossroads. I wasn't doing very well at studies. I hardly had any friends to speak of. In fact, I used to get bullied almost all the time. And the thing about that is that when someone tells you that you're a loser over and over again for long enough, at some point you tend to start believing them. And so did I. And what I realized was that what I needed the most was to feel good about myself. And so I chose to spend my time doing things that I loved. Learning how to play the guitar, practicing magic, stargazing. And soon enough, I found myself performing on the streets, doing magic to random people on the streets. I would go up to random people on the streets, do magic to them, turn around, go to someone else, and do it all over again. And that's how I taught myself to do what I've been doing. The interesting thing is that at a time when I needed it the most, it was complete strangers on the street who had faith in me. They made their choice. And if it didn't work, it didn't matter. In fact, performing as a street musician was such a huge influence for me that today I feel at home the most in a room full of strangers. Now, what I learned from these experiences is this. You need to be aware of your influences and make informed decisions. You will always find yourself at a crossroads, time and again. Sometimes making a decision is more important than making sure it's the right one, if indeed there is a right one. Leave all your negative influences behind and focus on doing things that make you feel good. And finally, when you find yourself at a crossroads, all you need is to have faith in yourself. Saying so, I'd like to leave you with one last simple thought. Quick question. Is there anybody in the audience today who is going through a critical crossroads at this point? Hi there. You there, the girl in white? Right there? Yes? Yes. Could you please join me on stage? Yes, give it up for ladies and gentlemen. Hi. Your name is? Rashmi. Very nice to meet you, Rashmi. Rashmi, here's the mic for you. Rashmi, have we ever met before?
No.
No. Will we ever meet again?
Let's see.
Nothing's for sure. All right, jokes apart, Rashmi. Right here, I have a pouch. I'd like you to hold on to it, Rashmi, and make sure that I don't touch it or do anything. Right? I'd like to face the audience a little bit. Now, Rashmi, quick question. Have you ever played cards? Do you play cards? Have you played them in your life? Yes?
Yeah.
You know what they look like?
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, Rashmi, I'd like you to take a moment and name a playing card. Any playing card.
King of Hearts.
King of Hearts. Now, it's your choice entirely, Rashmi. Do you want to stick to it or do you want to change it to something else?
And to stick to it.
You want to stick to it. And that's your final choice. Fair enough. King of Hearts. Now, Rashmi, can you hand me the pouch? Inside this pouch, ladies and gentlemen, is a deck of playing cards. And inside this deck of playing cards, before I came here, I turned around a single card in the deck, face down. Just one card turned around in the deck. I'm going to try and do this as cleanly as possible. You said the King of Hearts.
Yes.
All right. Here goes nothing. Now, I'll try and show this to all of you. Every single card is face up, and all the cards are different. All of them except just one card right here. Just one card that is face down in the deck. Now, Rashmi, I'd like you to very carefully remove this card out. Don't turn it around, just remove it. Don't turn it around, don't turn it around. Just hold it parallel to the ground. Okay? Fair enough. And I'm going to get back to you, Rashmi. Now, Rashmi, I'm going to give you a gift. A gift of being at a crossroads of choice. Now, Rashmi, you can either choose to turn that card around and risk ruining it for yourself and for everybody else who's watching. Or you can choose to believe with all your heart that it is the right playing card. You don't need to look at it because you believe that it is the right one. And if you do choose to believe, I'll take that card, I'll put it back inside the deck, and we'll all go back home with a special story to share of this special moment that we shared together. So what do you want to do?
And to see the card.
You want to turn it into a card? You want to look at it. Fair enough, it is your choice. You want to stick to it. Alright, hang on just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, I now come to you with a show of hands. How many of you would like to turn around the card and look at it? Raise your hands. That's way more than half the audience. Alright, and how many of you, with a show of hands, would like to have faith? Please raise your hands. Now please keep your hands raised. All of you who chose to have faith, please raise your hands because I want to see you. I see you. Thank you so much. I see you. I see you. I see you. I see you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. You can put your hands down. Now, ladies and gentlemen, since more than half of you chose to turn it around, we will turn it around. But those of you who chose to have faith, I have just one request of you. Since you chose to have faith, when she does turn the card around, just look away. I'm serious. Alright? Let's do this. I'm going to give you a count to 3. And at the count of 3, I'd like you to just turn the card around and show it to everyone. Okay? The card that you named earlier was the King of Diamonds. Am I right?
King of Hearts.
The King of Hearts. Yes, that's what I meant. King of Hearts. Alright, let's try this. 3, 2, 1. What's the card? Turn it around. And that is the King of Hearts, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You did very, very well. Thank you so much. I'm Shikhar Kamat, and I'm a psychological illusionist. When you find yourself at a crossroads, have faith. Thank you so much.